Hey there everyone, it's Mayo Movie Master. Before we get started, please make sure to like, and if you're new, subscribe. There's always new videos here about movies and frugal ideas when it comes to entertainment. So today is going to be a video about subscriptions, the rise of subscription services. I am someone who is not a fan of subscription services. I don't have any of them to begin with, and I think they're a big waste of money. So let's start with the most popular one, movies and TV shows. Everyone has Netflix, and when Netflix first came around, had the DVD service, and it was really cool. You know, you get them in the mail, you watch the movie, and it's in the back. And then eventually it became a streaming platform. They were pretty cool, but I started thinking, okay, they're not like a DVD company that, owns the rights to the movie. They're a service that holds licensing rights for a certain period of time and then eventually expires. And of course, as time progressed, they started losing rights and they started making more original content. The idea was to lure people with some of the shows that they didn't make so you could stick around to watch the stuff that they actually did make. Perfect example is The Office. A lot of people love The Office, and it used to be on Netflix until just recently, and they hope that you would stay to watch Stranger Things or Narcos or any other show that they produce. But now if you want to watch The Office, you have to get the Universal app. It's Peacock, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to watch Game of Thrones, that's not on Netflix. You have to go to HBO. If you want to watch, let's say, a particular movie that's not on Netflix, you have to search and maybe you'll find it on Hulu. And the list goes on and on. If you want to have everything, you're paying an extremely high price. And whenever I see people that, love shows and love movies as much as I do, they think that they can catch up and watch everything. And the truth of the matter is, you can't. We're living in an era where there's just too much content. More than ever, there's so many shows, so many movies, and I feel exhausted. I feel like it's just too much. It used to be a time where you would watch a movie or watch a show and that was it. But now everything's so interconnected that, if you want to watch a particular show, let's say the WandaVision show, which I'm not really interested in, let's say I would have to watch some of the other Marvel movies in order to understand it. I'm assuming, because that's how everything is now. Everything's within a universe. So, one, I don't think anybody has all the time in the world to watch all these shows. You'd be lying to yourself. And two, it's crazy to think that you're saving money by paying for these streaming services instead of, let's say, cable, because everyone cut cable. I don't have cable, and I don't have streaming services. But I remember at the beginning when everyone was giving frugal ideas, they said, I just cut the cable and stick with Netflix. But now I hear these same frugal people saying, well, now I have Hulu, and I also have Disney+. So it's like you're adding more and more because you want to keep up with the Joneses. You want to keep up with all these shows. I, for one, think that you need to be completely comfortable with missing out. Stick with one or two. If you're not a physical media collector, if you're not someone who likes to watch movies on VHS or DVD, I personally don't mind watching movies whether it's on Blu-ray or VHS. I don't care, as long as I can watch it. And the great thing about this is I picked this up at a thrift store, and this one I got as a gift. I can watch these as many times as I like. Only one price was paid, and that's it. With a streaming service, you're constantly paying until the end of time. It's never yours. And it's never there unless they owned the material. Like Tiger King. Tiger King was made by Netflix, so it will always be there. But something like The Office, like I said, would go to Peacock. So that's the case with movies. My advice is either build a small collection. It's super easy now because you can go to a thrift store and you can find so many DVDs and VHS tapes. And believe me, most of the time you're not going to be watching so much stuff. Like if you have a busy life where you work, you have things to do, and you have raising a family, most of the window that you might have to watch a movie or a show is very small. I mean, I always hear people who binge watch shows and watch a gazillion episodes. The only time I've ever done that was with Breaking Bad, and even then I watched 2-3 episodes and call it a night. I wouldn't stay up until 4 or 5 in the morning. but there's some people who do and they forego their responsibilities. So when it comes to music, it's the same thing. At one point I had Spotify. I no longer use it. I just use one of these. It's going to sound really retro to some people. Is an iPod. I still have one of these. It works fine. It's just I realized that I listen to pretty much the same 50 plus songs. So this might not work for everyone. The alternative that I would give to people who love to listen to new music is just use Pandora. It's free, it has ads, it's a free service, and you can listen to new music. And you can also listen to Spotify free. There's a free version of Spotify. I don't mind the whole ad thing. But for the most part, when it comes to music, when I'm exercising, walking, or just want to listen to music on a ride, I use my iPod, and it works perfectly fine. So the other question that comes is like, oh, so how do you, what about the AirPods? I don't use AirPods. I still use earbuds, classic ones. They work just as fine. Just take care of them and they'll last. And that's another thing. People are also subscribed to the AirPods by paying a service monthly. Like everything, no one owns anything. It's crazy. People owe their AirPods, their Apple Watches, their phones, everything. I have the belief that if you have the money, buy it. Don't live beyond your means. I don't want to tell people how to live their life. If you feel that you can pay it, in installments and you can pay it on time, go for it. But I think in the long run, you're gonna be paying more. By the time you're done paying that particular phone, the phone is probably outdated, and they'll add other things to make it slow. So you end up getting a new phone and you start to cycle all over again. When it comes to phone, I used to have a smartphone. Actually, I still have one. I only use it on the weekends whenever I want to watch a YouTube video or go on Facebook. But for the most part, I just use one of these, a flip phone. It's a lot cheaper, pay like $25, and I hear people who pay like a crazy price for their service for the phone. So that doesn't make much sense to me. Paying for every single service, you don't think it hurts because you're not seeing the money go out. But look at your bank statement. You're paying $5 here, $7 there, and it adds up. It truly adds up. I think it's better just wait until Cyber Monday or Black Friday and add a list of certain things you want to buy and just save for it. I think it's much smarter. That's what I've done all my life when it comes to TVs. Like I still have the same TV I bought in 2011 on the Cyber Monday. It's not 1080, it's a 720p, and it works perfectly fine. I still have the same car that I paid off in 2011. It works just fine. And the way I maintain it is I try to do the regular oil change the tires, and not do very long trips with the car. For the most part, I try now to either ride my bike or walk. And it's a good exercise. It helps you lose weight and stay healthy. So next comes other subscription services that I find ridiculous. Shave clubs. There's so many shave clubs. The most popular one is Dollar Shave Club. And the second one is Harry's, which is now not just a shaving subscription service, but you can also find them at Walmart's and also at Target's. I've used both of them. They work fine. They're a better alternative to Gillette. Gillette also ended up making their own subscription service because of people complaining of how expensive their blades were. They were. I used to use the Gillette Fusion, and the price got so over the top. It made no sense to pay like $30-something for like close to nothing of blades, and they wouldn't last much. So I just went and started using a safety razor. You can get a safety razor on Amazon. I want to say they're super cheap. They will cost anywhere between $20 and $30. If you want to pay that, you can go to Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree, I sometimes see them for $1 there. They're not the best handled, but they work just fine for a beginner. And the blades, I wouldn't use the blades that come with that handle. I would go on Amazon. They have these blades. I'll leave it in the description down below. They cost like $6 something, and they're from the brand Shark. And they last me like 2 years. It brings over 100 blades. great. It's very, very convenient. So that's another service, subscription service that doesn't make sense to me. The next one is being subscribed to the Adobe Cloud. If you're not familiar, Adobe Cloud is for editing, whether you're doing Photoshop, you're doing After Effects, or editing. It used to be that you would pay one price for the service and that was it. It was a steep price, but the product was yours to own. Now they lure you in by saying, well, by paying for the cloud, you have the option to always upgrade and fix any bugs and all this other stuff. So for me, since I don't use it for work, if you're someone who uses these services for work, it makes sense because you'll get your money's worth. Let's say you're just using the Adobe Premiere for editing. It's $20 a month. If you're doing freelance work, you're gonna get your money's worth. But let's say you're just someone like me on YouTube learning how to edit. It doesn't make much sense. I would go with something like DaVinci Resolve. It's completely free and you can learn. There's two versions. There's one but the free version is just good enough. So that's one thing that also doesn't make sense to me. Subscribing to Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. It used to be that, again, you would buy Office on a CD and you owned it. I still own the original 2010, that was the last one that I bought, the 2010 version that came in the CD, and that's the one I use for Microsoft Word. But now if you want to use the newest version, I think you have to subscribe, unless if you're a student. If you're a student, you get the option to use it for free, I believe. So if you can't get yourself a copy of the Microsoft Office on a CD, then I recommend using Google Docs. It's a free option that you have. I've used Google Docs and it's pretty good. Way better than having to use Office. Next one that comes to mind is subscribing to things like Amazon Prime. Here's a funny thing. If you're someone who orders a lot or watches all this stuff on their services and you're using it to the max and you're getting your money's worth, great. I order from Amazon probably 4 times a year, honestly. I used to order a lot more back in the day, but I've become more frugal over the years, so I order like 4 times a year, and it's usually something for work, nothing personal. Like when it comes to movies, I often either buy them outside in the wild or I'll get them on eBay. I'd rather give my money to a small seller than a big guy like Jeff Bezos. Nothing against Jeff Bezos. I think he has more than enough money. He will be completely fine without my $10.99 for a movie. So I know I don't have Amazon Prime. I don't care for it. That's another subscription service that doesn't make sense. So if you're looking at the trend that of what I've mentioned up until now, is if you use the services to their max, you're getting your money's worth, great. But if you're someone that occasionally watches something on Amazon Prime or doesn't order much, and it's used as a point that's passing by, then don't waste your money. There's so many other things out there, that are free. Walking is free and it's a great activity. Sometimes on a Sunday, especially now during a pandemic, I don't want to stay home all the time just watching movies, or just being home, not being active. So, I go out for a walk or I go out and ride my bike. It's a great little activity and it's free. It's completely free. Be content with what you already own and take care of the things that you have. You think that, oh, I need this, or that's one reason I took rid of using the smartphone. I only use it for 30 minutes on a Sunday because you're endlessly browsing, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or Amazon, and you think, oh, well, let me just go and see what else I need. No, you don't need anything. Eventually you get to an age where you have pretty much bought everything and anything that you need. Just look around your house. You probably have something that serves the same purpose to what you need. And if you truly need it, see if you can borrow it from a friend first, or see if it's something that can wait. Keep it on your shopping cart for a while and just wait. I say give it 48 hours. If in 48 hours you still feel like you need it, go for it. But the whole idea of impulse shopping and being subscribed to everything because you don't want to miss out, I think is just it's a marketing ploy. Honestly, it's good marketing because you go on these apps and it's all about keeping up with the Joneses. You see your friend who has the newest iPhone, so you have to have it. You see that your friend is watching Bridgerton on Netflix, you have to watch it. You see that someone else is listening to a newest album on the greatest AirPods, you have to have it and you have to listen to it, because if not, you're missing out. You're not in the loop. So I don't care for the loop. I'm past all of that. I'm in my 30s. Maybe when I was in my early 20s, I cared about being in the loop. I don't care for it, honestly. I'm completely content just watching the movies that I have. Reading books from the library is another thing you can do. Go to the library. So much better than watching so many movies. And this is coming from someone who loves watching movies. But you just gotta balance it out. And I urge people to watch what you like. Don't feel obligated to watch every single little thing that's out there. And honestly, most of the things that are out, I guess because I've seen so many movies and so many shows in the past, they're just remakes of things that have existed before. Nothing is truly new now. Everything is a remake. And I always gravitate towards the old rather than new. Time, because time is super valuable. That's the most valuable thing. Time. It's something you don't get back. Just look at how much time you have. Do you really have all the time in the world to watch 15 seasons of a particular show? Or would you rather dedicate that time to learning a new skill, or reading a book, or spending time with a friend over the phone, or whatever it may be? So just a suggestion, some food for thought. Anyway, guys, there's another video coming up, which is a video about Steven Seagal. So I'm gonna have 2 videos in one this week. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.